Hey guys, okay, I'm going to expand on this video. I did a video very similar to this, but this question just keeps popping up on my Snapchat Q&A. So head over to BrianK019 if you're not following me on there. I open it up every day for a live Q&A for about an hour every day, so you can send me messages back and forth. But basically, girls ask me about how to get weight off their hips, off their glutes, off their lower body. So I did a video before about how to hit that from a training style. So what I found has worked really well with my female clients from a training point of view was working in a very high rep range. So in the 25, 30, 40 rep range on legs, and then using running as your main cardio source. There's also another angle which you can take this from, and this is the hormonal point of view. So this is the advice that I would offer from years of working with female clients who have had similar problems. The first thing I always do is obviously make sure everything's working on a hormonal level. But that training program, so if you haven't checked out that video on what to do if you're a girl trying to lose size from their legs, go check out that training video, because that's worked for a lot of girls. If there's a hormonal imbalance, balancing out your hormones is going to massively help that too. So there's a couple of supplements you can use and a couple of foods that you should avoid and things you should avoid in order to get the body fat off your legs, off your glutes, and off your lower body in general. First thing is avoiding processed foods. What happens in the body when you eat processed foods and really highly processed foods, so the ready meals, refined sugars, things like that, is it sends your body into a state of shock in terms of you can get a release of histamines and a release of different hormones in the body. It can offset the balancing hormones that you need. Your testosterone, your estrogen, all of these levels will get out of whack because your body's so focused on trying to break down processed foods. So what I would do is avoid all the processed foods. And I've talked about this before in other videos about how processed food, your body would prioritize that. It's the same as when you eat trans fatty acids. Your body would prioritize breaking down those processed foods. Remember, your body's a basic survival mechanism. Understanding how your body evolved over time will help you lose body fat around those stubborn areas, because the reality is when your body eats food, the first thing it's going to do is decide if this food is dangerous for your body, is it going to kill me, and can I use it for nutrition? What happens when you eat processed foods is, one, you get no fucking nutrition from it, but two, your body's trying to figure out, it doesn't understand what it is, it doesn't understand the chemical makeup, it doesn't understand anything about it. It gets so focused on using all of its energy trying to make sure that it doesn't affect any vital organs and it doesn't kill you. That's literally what happens when you eat processed foods. On the fucking flip side of it is then, where does all your fucking foods that may be potentially dangerous to your vital organs, where do they get shifted? Fat stores. Why? Because they're the safest place away from vital organs. By shifting processed foods and trans fatty acids and things like that into fat stores, they're keeping your vital organs safe, which keeps your body alive. So understanding first why processed foods can make a fuck up your waistline, that's why. Because your body will always prioritize keeping you alive over how good you look in a dress or how nice your abs look on the beach, So remember that. So cutting processed foods, two things will happen with that. One, obviously you won't be adding to your fat stores because of your body trying to figure out and use all of its energy to break down the processed food. Two, the food you eat that'll be more nutritional will give you more energy, which means you can train more, which means your blood sugars will be more stable, which means you can actually stay on diet, which means you'll actually be in a calorie deficit and your body will be more effective at using fat as its fuel source. That's kind of the side thing. But on the flip side of that, it's also going to balance out your hormones, because your body's not going to be throwing, if you think about it, when you give your body the job of breaking down processed foods, it offsets the hormones in your body. So all those normal ghrelin, leptin, hormones that stabilize hunger, satiation, all of these things, estrogen, testosterone, they all get thrown out of whack because they can't prioritize being in homeostatic level when your body's trying to break down processed foods, So cut those, and then there's a couple of supplements you can add in, which is also going to support testosterone, estrogen balance in your body. One of the big misconceptions is that women are like, oh, testosterone, that's the men thing, that's going to make me huge. That's not what testosterone does. It is, and it is the male sex hormone that will, ramp up libido, give you more muscle, things like that in men. But the reality is women need a balance of it as well, because the balance is what keeps hormones in check. If you have too much estrogen, all what's happening is that lower body fat that you're holding on your legs, your thighs, your glutes, your hamstrings, that can be from an estrogen imbalance. How do you balance out estrogen? You bring up your testosterone and put them into a balance. So supplementing with things like vitamin D, not only will that support your immune function, which will stop you getting sick, it'll also balance out your testosterone in your body. So it means that your hormone levels will be more in check. The other supplement is DIM, D-I-M, which is an estrogen. The way DIM works is it's supposed to bring your body back into alignment with estrogen. So if you're out of balance with estrogen, DIM is supposed to bring you back into whatever your homeostatic state is. That's how in theory it's supposed to work. Obviously individually it's going to be so different each person and how it works, but in theory that's how it works. So supplementing back in things like vitamin D, supplementing things like DIM, and then making sure you've avoided all your processed food. and then adding in the training sessions, high volume, cardio, making sure you're doing all the right things, that's what's going to reduce body fat off your lower body. Now, that is assuming that you're pretty lean everywhere else. If you were holding body fat everywhere and you particularly want to get them down in your lower body, but your body fat in your triceps, arms, back, everywhere, that's going to be overall context. That's a good training program, good nutritional plan, good supplementation. All of that will come into play. But if you're already really lean everywhere and just can't shift it from your lower body, off your glutes, hamstrings, and quads, try those tips. Cut the processed foods for a couple of weeks. What you'll find is your cravings and stuff will go as well, because you won't be offsetting your hormones in your brain. Your cravings will go, you'll have more energy, and then supplement back in your vitamin D and your DIM, and you'll find that you're going to stop holding as much water and start reducing body fat in those areas. So I hope this video helps. Please like and share the page. If you've got any comments, I'll be replying for the next 24 hours. Thanks for watching.